Welcome to the Live from South College podcast. I'm your host, Kathleen Stockham. The Live from South College podcast is your source for all South College activity, including new student information, deep dives into our 100 plus programs and concentration, tools of the trade, and even live on location from all of our campuses. Great interviews with faculty, staff, deans, and hear from South College students and alumni in their own words. From certificates all the way to doctoral degrees, catch up with Live from South College for the lighter side of helping your dreams find direction. You asked, and we are delivering. You told us you wanted to hear more about our online programs offered, and today we are discussing just that. But as a bonus feature, we're also discussing our campus in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which shares campus space with our online team. I am pleased to welcome online and Pittsburgh campus president and Petrella and online and Pittsburgh senior VP of enrollment, Larry Karcher. Hi, guys.
Hi, Kathleen.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Oh, thanks for being here. Well, we've had podcast listeners email and they've let me know that they want to hear a lot more about the programs that we offer online. So what better way to answer those questions than to go straight to the source? Okay, and there are a lot of schools that offer online programs. What makes South College Online unique?
Yeah, so I think South College Online, so while we offer a variety of programs, so depending on your specialty, we have a lot of options for students, especially when it gets down to the concentrations or the very specific specializations that each program offers. But I think what really sets us apart from other online programs is the strong knit team support approach that we have for our students. So we work really closely here. So you have a team of staff here that's assigned to work with you from application all the way through graduation. So you're never going through the process alone. You know, online itself, it's obviously that flexibility is what everybody looks for, that you can take classes on your schedule, on your own time. But we don't want you to feel like you're doing it on your own because you're not coming to a brick and mortar campus. So we want to make sure that we have that type of support. So you get assigned a team from the beginning and we are with you every step of the way.
Oh, that's awesome. So, I mean, I love the fact that it's not just sign up, okay, we'll see you later, that it's really kind of a buddy system, that you've got someone that is really kind of right next to you every step of the way. Love that. So, Larry, how long is the information and application process since you can't like physically tour an online campus? How long does that particular process last?
Yes, great question. So even though we're not able to meet with students physically as we reach out to students coast to coast, we do work really hard to be able to meet students where they are and still provide a really engaging experience as they figure out the right fit. All in, as we meet with students, probably over the course of an hour, that's probably the right amount of time to have a great conversation, learn as much as possible about them, and bring them on to what we call our virtual tour experience, where again, they can't go through our campus and see our best in-class equipment, but they can navigate this experience and benefit from some of the same tools that you see everywhere else at a South College.
Okay, tell me more about this virtual tour. I'm kind of loving that.
Yeah, our number one goal is after a great conversation where we learn as much as possible about the potential student, things like their needs, goals, concerns, and with regard to going back to school. And we've learned a lot about our online students where they have really busy, hectic lives where multiple plates are spinning and they're really full all the time. So we try to connect with folks and bring them onto this virtual tour. They could pull it up on their laptop or computer if that's more comfortable, or they could go mobile, whatever works best. And our goal is just to be able to let them see what matters most. A lot of students like to dive into our background, reputation, accreditation, especially for some of those license programs. But other students tend to spend more time with some of the clips showing what it looks like to be an online learner, or even some of the resources available along the way.
So, what is the typical online student? Tell me a little bit about their profile. What are you seeing from, kind of a typical online student? Like, where are they in their life and their age and in what you're finding?
Absolutely. You know, you mentioned earlier how we have so many different programs, and with online, we have all of them. But when you think about undergrad certificates, associates, bachelor's, master's, graduate, doctorate, postdoc, that gives us the opportunity to talk with people in all walks of life. So I have to start there, right? We meet everybody wherever they are on their journey. But the largest majority is still folks who tend to be between 24 and 44. And what we found is they've gone and completed school before, or they've tried to go to school before and it didn't work out that time. And they're coming back to do something new or find a better fit.
Love that. Okay. Well, they're obviously what we call non-traditional students, and they're looking to advance, their learning or getting that more advanced degree, which makes sense. So, Anne, what has been the most popular programs for online so far?
Yeah, so far for online, our most popular are in the health sciences. So we offer pre-foundational programs where you can get an associate's degree, which then would allow you to then be prepared to go into a Bachelor of Science in Nursing or into a pharmacy program.
Well, I think that you bring up a really good point.
Because they are feeder programs. So
yeah, some of our largest programs tend to be at the associate's level that are pre-health science programs.
Yes, but
where
they're
they
all
can
different.
they could go on to a campus or another location to specialize in things like physical therapy, nursing, or physician assistants.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay. So the feeder programs obviously give a student a chance to sort of test out different directions, which makes complete sense. All right. And let's kind of change gears a little bit. You are also the president of the Pittsburgh campus. So tell us a little bit more about the Pittsburgh campus and the programs that you have there.
Yeah, so the programs that are offered at the Pittsburgh campus are all healthcare focused programs. Interestingly enough, we do share the space here, but the Pittsburgh campus is offering the hands-on programs that are needed within our community here in Cranberry Township. So we're about 25 minutes from the city. We're north of the city here of Pittsburgh. And the programs that we're offering here are all of your hands-on type programs, ultrasound, nursing, surgical technology. So all programs that are needed currently with all of our healthcare facilities that we have that surround the campus in the Pittsburgh area.
Oh,
Yep.
love that.
And I just want to dive in on that a little bit more where if you know Western Pennsylvania, if you know the Pittsburgh area, the geography is a little bit different. Everything's divided by a mountain or a river or a tunnel. And we're located in a place where it's accessible from all directions. But also, if you know about Western PA, there's this huge medical footprint with regard to either just front end healthcare, emerging research, or of course, the growing developments in healthcare in the future. And what's great about our program is the opportunity with these fields to partner up and be able to fill the need, which a lot of folks already know about nursing, surg tech, those kind of programs where we really get to participate in the growth of the whole community through those programs.
I'm still back on the mountains and rivers, so it's over the river and through the woods to South College, Pittsburgh we go.
Yeah.
I know that's awesome. No, I love that. Now, how many snow days have you guys had so far?
0.
0 for us. There's a lot for the kids in school, but yeah.
Yeah, 0 here.
Oh man. Okay. Well, down here in Knoxville, we've had a few, but we certainly handle our snow a little bit differently. All right. So let me ask you from a student perspective, for both of you, what does a typical schedule look like for an online student? I mean, is it daily classes or just a few days a week? Tell me what a typical online student could expect from a class perspective.
Yeah, so I mean, the online class itself is set up with consistent assignments or activities each week. So there are deadlines and assignment due dates for those activities. However, it's really up to the student of when they actually complete those. So as long as they're hitting the due date, depending on their work schedule, they might do it in the middle of the night. They might do it in the middle of the day. It really differs, I would say, by student, but we do our best to set up every class so that it's consistent, so that they can build an expectation and a schedule once they start with us, that then they can see that through, if that makes sense. We don't like to throw curveballs in there, especially because they are the working student. And we want them to be able to build whatever that schedule looks like for them, and then for us to layer in to be able to support and be available as they need us.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm finding, as I've talked to students across different parts of the institution, I know that it really is becoming more and more of an acclimated process for students to be able to be at home, do it on their own schedule. It's definitely easier for a working professional to be able to get to their assignments and get things turned in. But they also still have the opportunity, as you alluded to earlier, as a non-traditional student, to also still go to work, still raise a family, and obviously do things a little bit differently. So let's dive into a program specifically. The Master of Science in Nursing has been one of the most popular programs we offer, and we also have several different concentrations that are part of the Master of Science in Nursing. Can you tell us a little bit more about those programs, Larry, and what you're finding that students are looking for?
Absolutely. And you're right. The Master of Science in Nursing program has already grown over 200% year over year. And that's just by way of us doing a better job of meeting the demand. It grew so fast early on, to be honest, it was sort of hard to catch up. And we've worked relentlessly, tirelessly over the last year to be able to right size our team, be available, and be specialists to support these folks in the programs they're looking for. But what you really find is that current nurses, whatever level that they might be, right? So a registered nurse, somebody who's completed their ASN, any practicing nurse who's looking to be able to grow forward can actually have a program that'll take them directly into the MSN level program. So we have RN to MSN, we have BSN to MSN, all kind of tracks that meet current nurses where they are to get to this end goal. And we find that a lot of our students, potential students interested in this program, are looking to grow from bedside care, which they're still very passionate about. That's what makes them great nurses in the first place. But they want to be able to grow their impact, right? To be able to work in more settings, to be able to increase their own personal opportunity while providing a higher level of specialized care at the nurse practitioner level. And I think as you get into our program, I'll try to stay out of the weeds, but that's part of the reason why at the MSN level, we have focuses on family nurse practitioner. We have a specialization in adult gerontology and another one for mental health. And we also have postgrad certificates for those folks who already maybe have completed this step in their career and they want to specialize even farther. It has huge potential for them in their career opportunities, but also just in their own professional growth in the field of nursing, which is where their passion started.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And with the kind of outpouring across the nation for more nurses that span, I think every aspect of it, those that, to your point, that are bedside, that are just getting started, emergency room, operating room, and in this case, being able to further their education as a family nurse practitioner where they can begin to prescribe and actually be a little bit more at the forefront of the care plan, I think is amazing. And the fact that this is growing so much, that's exciting that as an institution, we're able to kind of help answer that call. I've mentioned this in other episodes that I'm always amazed to see the numbers that we turn out of qualified nurses in all of our campus locations. So that's amazing to hear. Let's kind of talk a little bit more about the overall online student. So our online students actually get an in-person graduation, different from maybe some of our competitors, but we actually do an in-person graduation each May to June here in Knoxville. How great has that been to actually meet students at an important moment in their lives? And do you have any great stories of students you've met?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's a kind of one of those full circle moments where you get to finally meet the students that you've been working with. And I think, especially for the staff that we bring. So I think that's one thing where we're able to bring staff here from Pittsburgh to Knoxville to be able to support the ceremony, but it also allows for them to meet their students. And I think, the nursing students that we were just talking about, especially at one point we do an online meet and greet. So faculty are there, the staff, the students, their families, where you kind of watch this one student walk in and within an instant met a clinical coordinator that she had been working with for a year and a half and a student success advisor, same thing, right in front of her. And I mean, in tears, so excited to finally meet them in person because that student didn't have the family support or that additional layer of support at home to where that student success advisor and that clinical coordinator became that person, those people for her. And so that was kind of one of those moments of you can really see the impact that we make every day, even though it might not be tangible and in your face, but every phone call, every email, every message that you respond to help that student, sometimes, here you don't realize the effect that that's really having on that person. And so to have the ability to meet those students in person, I mean, is by far everyone that comes back here from graduation is like energized and refreshed because it's just, that's the fulfilling part of your job to be able to to experience that and finally meet them.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree. Larry, what about you? Have you had an opportunity to meet a student at graduation and someone that you've sort of followed along through their progress?
Absolutely. I've been fortunate to attend the last two graduations, and I've talked to everybody, whether they were working with me or not, everybody. But everything Ann just shared is really the full focus of that moment. I just think about where we started our conversation, which is for online students, they tend to be more non-traditional learners. And what that means for us is that they're busy working adults with hectic lives. And so they've chosen to come back, to go to school again, to try again, to do it despite any previous challenges. And they've come in and they've done what it takes. Like they've poured in so much and they've been able to reach this milestone. So to see them in this moment, which they fully deserve, is just a recognition of the hard work and the pursuit of ultimately their next steps is incredible. And selfishly, you don't end up in admissions by accident or higher education for that matter. You're only in it for the end goal. You're only in it to see these folks legitimately, tangibly change their lives. And this is that moment where you actually see it walk across the stage.
Oh, love that. I think that should be the central focus. And it's not just, we're a school, hey, come here, come to this school, but we're here to help be part of your journey to change lives. And the fact that you actually get to meet those students face to face, I mean, how rewarding is that? I think that's really awesome. So let's go back to the mountains and the rivers for a moment. For Pittsburgh, what do you think is the greatest need in the area, especially for healthcare? What do you think is like the biggest? Is it nursing, or is it maybe where you find that in the community they need what?
Well, Pittsburgh's a part of the larger discussion in healthcare where nursing is just such a paramount need in the field. And we see that. It's one of the fastest growing programs in the campus, and there's a lot of drivers for that. So by program, from my view, I know Ann will jump in here. That's part one. But in terms of the community, I think that it fills a need for options where it's no longer just nurses. Now, Western Pennsylvania has served the nursing field really well. There's a strong history. There's a huge family component in the healthcare here, but I think that being able to branch out and still be able to provide great care at the bedside across all components of healthcare, not just nursing, and let folks specialize has been really good for the community overall.
Yeah, and I think just as a follow up from COVID, there's gaps in almost every area of healthcare here. And so, I think our respiratory therapy program that we've just recently rolled out for the campus, there's a large need there through, all of the hospitals they had been asking for it. And ultrasound. Ultrasound is another one where we've seen a shortage in our area, and we've been able to help and meet that need for the facilities that we have around here.
Oh, that's awesome. See, and I think that's one of the most important things that we do as a great community partner is to help put all of these recent graduates, qualified, smart people out there where there is a need. And I think that's wonderful. All right. So now let's kind of turn the tables a little bit, an equalizing question. All right, Larry, what kind of student were you in school?
That answer is it depends on what part of school we're talking about.
No deflecting, no deflecting.
Okay, if I dive in, for me, my own educational journey has been interesting. It's weird that I'm sharing this right now on a podcast, but I didn't actually learn to read until the third grade, and I know everybody overcomes different challenges along the way. And so early on, I think I would be a tough student. And then through middle school, I would call myself perhaps a class clown of sorts as I tried to acclimate and get back on track. And fortunately, I was able to stumble my way into college with a lot of support from family and friends. And it was like the light bulb clicked. For some people, it happens right away. For me, it took about 20 years. And all of a sudden, it all made sense. And I found things I was passionate about, which is helping people. And I realized that education is this liberating force. And that was the first time my undergrad degree, Bachelor of Science in Psychology, studying neuroscience, was the first time I was a serious student. Anyways, I'm only sharing all of that because my own journey is pretty unusual. And I really connect with that as we work with our students and I hear their journeys. And it makes so much sense that wherever you started doesn't determine where you finish.
100%. That is so fascinating because again, you hear those kind of timestamps in your story of growth being, late to read, but then, the class clown thing. Gee, I can't imagine you not being funny. You're always funny, but that's fascinating. I love that. And you're right. It's very relatable. All right. Anne, same question. I think I know the answer for this one. What kind of student were you in school?
I would say I was probably the opposite of Larry. I'm very much a rule follower. I was
I
very
knew it.
organized, on top of everything, especially when I got into college, because I think for me that was an investment. And so it was an investment in my time and my resources. So I had a dual bachelor's of science in psychology and sociology. I went right into my master's program to get it done. So I have a master's of science and education in student affairs. And then more recently, because, I feel like I have to go the distance. I can't have a degree kind of dangling out there. I just recently finished my doctorate of education. And so I've always been really motivated by education. And I think in that nature, I'm a little bit competitive with myself of I want to do it all and get to the end state. So even when I finished this doctorate, my husband said to me, well, now what? Because, there's going to be another program or something out there that interests you. And it's like in due time, I'm sure there'll be something that I enroll in just for, more growth and more learning, but very opposite of Larry, very strict on my path to completion.
No, but that's actually really great because I am not surprised by that story. I've had the chance to work with you for a while now, and that none of that surprises me. So let me ask a slightly different question. And so what's been your path? How did you get here to South College?
Yeah, so interestingly enough, when I finished my bachelor's degree, I actually got hired. I went to Teal College, really small in Western PA, liberal arts school. And when I finished there, they had a resident assistant position open. So part of that was that you ran a residence hall, which was probably one of the most interesting jobs that I've ever had. But
that's
it
where
started
psychology comes into
so it
handy, right?
started my career in higher education, but it also was a graduate assistantship. And so they afforded me the ability to go and get my master's degree in student affairs. And so I managed a residence hall, and then I stayed on, and I was their director of residence life. And I also was the director of compliance and student conduct, which was a very interesting role at a traditional institution. And then I took a leap of wanting to move to the big city, right? I wanted to get to Pittsburgh. And so I took an academic advising job at another online institution, and I stayed there for 13 years, and I worked my way all the way up to vice president of student services. So my background has been all student services, student affairs focused. I started out as an advisor and kind of moved through the path there. And, working at a large institution like that for that many years, when the opportunity for South College in my backyard popped up and online was newer here, it was a very refreshing opportunity to be able to come here and not start over, but really build the programs. And so build the online offering for South College. I've been here now for 7 years. So I've been in every role from registrar to student success advisor, kind of moved my way up to now being the president of online in the Pittsburgh campus. It's been a great experience, but my background being student services is a little bit different than normal folks that you would see in this type of role.
Yeah, that's amazing. And again, none of that surprises me. The fact that you probably weren't running that other school fresh out of college, that doesn't surprise me. I too was an RA, and you definitely needed a whole background and patience and understanding, particularly if it was an all-girl dorm. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it was the most eye-opening experience of all of my higher ed career, but I'm happy I had it.
I love it. All right, Larry, same question. What's been your path and how'd you get to South College?
Yeah. So building off of just my own educational journey, I complete my undergrad, and right after that, I'm a professional world changer by way of being a counselor. I did inpatient, outpatient, community events, all the things over the course of a really fast 3 years, and I loved that. And I still love working with people, but I got really frustrated with some of the restrictions in healthcare. I learned about it from the inside out and how slow moving it could be. And I'm not a fan of slow moving. So a family friend was like, you should try out this admissions role. at another institution. And I thought, why not? And then from there, I've been in higher education now for 18 years, which is really weird to say out loud. My journey allowed me to, start as an admissions officer myself, grow into leadership, fall in love with leadership and training and development. It took me out west where we helped to start up a new company, a new location. I worked with what's considered to be an OPM, an online program manager, where we got to help 27 schools stand up their online programs, and made so many mistakes and learned so many things throughout that journey. And then we came back home, Western PA, Pittsburgh, after we had, two little kids and we got to get closer to grandparents. So we came back home and I bumped into Aunt, and now here we are.
So interestingly enough, Kathleen, Larry and I met, what would that have been, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
In Phoenix. We both lived in Phoenix. We were both young in our careers in director roles at another online entity.
Paths.
Cross paths. And then here we are. Once I heard he was back in the area, it's like, come on over.
Yeah.
Come help us.
That's amazing. I did not know that story. That's awesome. Oh my goodness.
And Anne was kind enough to let me join this awesome opportunity, this growing team. And you heard in our stories, you might find that we're a little bit different, just a little bit here and there in our stories.
Just a little bit.
But it's amazing how much of a great team it creates. We're keenly aware of each other's strengths. I might be just speaking for myself, and opportunities. And so the last 3.5 years that I've been with South College, I just feel like we've been able to navigate and support tremendous growth and everything that includes for our students.
Yeah, that's great. Wow. Okay. Well, like I said, that was something I did not know. All right. So now an easy question. So, Anne, what do you do in your spare time? You have none, but what do you do when you actually find spare time?
Well, so I have a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old. And so my life revolves around their social calendar for the most part. I like to say that on the weekends I'm a chauffeur. Yeah. For my daughter, she has a better social life than I do. But as far as, family time, friends, I really enjoy entertaining. I come from a large Italian family. So it's very often that, you can find multitude of family members at our house at any given moment. But we've all, it's just spending time together, because I do spend a lot of time here. So as much as I can do with my family outside of here is kind of what keeps me going and makes me happy.
Oh, love that. All right, Larry, what about you? Spare time. It sounds like you're running around behind kids.
Yeah, that's right. We have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, soon to be 6 and 4. And so we get to keep up with them. I love any sort of outdoor exploring activity, exercising and sports, still striving to be a great sand volleyball player. So I do that whenever it warms up in Pittsburgh. And otherwise, yeah, so spending time with family, friends, and diving into some great food as we bring everybody together.
Oh, that's awesome. Go Steelers, right? Right?
Oh,
yeah. There you go.
I didn't want to bring that up because I didn't want it to run 30 minutes long, but a real Steelers fan. Yeah, definitely.
I love that. That's awesome. All right. For those of you who wanted the detail, because you asked for it, for online, hope you got what you needed out of that one. The options for higher education completed online are more vast than ever. And there are, of course, plenty of choices out there. However, what you've heard here is just part of the reason South College is a key choice for online programs and concentrations. We have it all. In addition, our Pittsburgh campus is, of course, amazing and growing very quickly, as we are always listening to our community partners on the kind of needs they have for more healthcare employees and, most importantly, future leaders. And I also found out that there's mountains and rivers going on in Pittsburgh, which I think is great. I want to thank both of you for this awesome and very candid conversation and for sharing key detail. Plus, I found out that Larry was once a class clown. If you know him, that'll make sense. Stay warm up there. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Love that. So coming up after the break, we've got a number on our minds that we can't wait to share. And for our current students, it's a number you want to be a part of. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When you start your new career path at South College, you'll join students from different walks of life at varying stages in their lives. Many students are going back to school to finish degrees, while others are pursuing elevated education that will help them improve their potential in their current roles or for chasing a new direction. South College offers over 100 programs and concentrations with specialized focus on associate, bachelor's, master's, educational specialist, and doctoral degrees in healthcare, business, technology, education, and legal studies. We are regularly developing new academic programs based on local, regional, and national trends. Each curriculum is designed to promote development of knowledge and skills in the associated discipline as we challenge and support our students. South College is committed to providing intellectual, social, and professional development to a diverse student body. With locations in Knoxville, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Asheville, North Carolina, Orlando, Florida, Indianapolis, Indiana, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Dallas, Texas, and Marietta, Georgia, as well as programs delivered through competency-based education, or CBE, and online. We're here with you every step of the way, starting with the admissions process. To find out more, visit South College at south.edu. South College, where dreams find direction.
Hey, welcome back. So, numbers surround our institution all day, such as grade point averages, number of cohorts, student IDs, and even dosage calculations. Everything has a number at South College. And for our faculty and staff and students, we all have numbers we need to know about. However, we have a number we'd like to share, and this time it's a number we can all celebrate. South College is proud to announce that we are at 15,000 students. Yes, you heard that right. 15,000. We are at 15,000 students across all of our campuses and online and CBE, and we could not be more proud of you and proud of our more than 2,500 hardworking staff, faculty, and key partners that make it happen. But it's you. You, the students of South College, we could not be more proud of. Your hard work, determination, and dedication are what make this milestone even better. You made the step to chase your dreams, and you chose us to help you get there. We are so proud of you. We are rooting for you, and we will always be here for you. Growth, direction, and excellence. That's what South College is all about. Join us in celebrating 15,000 students across the country and across the globe. We can't wait to get to 20,000. Want to join us? What are you waiting for? At South College, we have over 100 programs and concentrations, from certificates all the way to doctoral degrees across healthcare, business, technology, legal studies, and so much more. Make 2025 your best year and your best you. You've got the dream, and South College has the direction. With 10 campuses across 7 states, plus online and CBE, there's a pathway for you at South College. Help you enjoy this latest episode of Live from South College. Thanks for joining me. We have a lot of great guests coming up very soon. If you love it, give us some stars, and you can always send us feedback by emailing us at southcollegepodcast@south.edu. Have an awesome day and let your dreams find direction. See you next time.